Hey guys, what's up? It's Jonathan with One Big Impact. So we're here today to make the Big Mac salad. Everybody's raving about it and pressure is coming from left, right, above, down below. And I am pleased to say that today we're going to make it. So before we get started, go ahead and brown your ground beef. Add about, it depends on how many servings you're getting, but I would say just a general rule of thumb, because you're gonna have to buy all of these supplies in advance, most of them are going to be able to be for multiple servings, but this is something that you're gonna probably have to regularly buy. The vinegar, I mean, you're gonna use a tiny bit. So most of this is gonna be able to be reused for the next recipes, but go ahead and get a pound, cook the pound, and then whatever you like to use as far as quantity wise, I recommend about 6 to 8 ounces. I don't want you to go more than that, because obviously if you're following a low carb regimen and you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to eat too much protein, because of gluconeogenesis, it's going to then turn into glucose, which is sugar, and then be metabolized as fat. So you definitely don't want to do that. So keep it about 5-6 ounces, but go ahead and pre-cook everything so that you have it ready for your next recipe. All right guys, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, we have our ground beef cooking at like a medium temperature, and obviously you know how to brown ground beef. If you don't, medium temperature for about 10 or so minutes or until it's done. Obviously warm up the pan before, and I got pepper in my eye, so I'm like having some issues here. And as you can see, you're gonna need a fork, and that's literally the littlest fork we have because my mom got a hold of the dishes again. So a couple things that you're gonna need, and yes, this is gonna be slightly expensive in the beginning, unless you have some of these things, which most people could. I unfortunately didn't have hardly any of these things because I follow a pretty strict meal plan, and I don't really try to keep food around besides what's exactly for my kids that they're going to eat, you know, pretty much that day, and what I'm going to eat that week. So first things first, lettuce. Shredded iceberg lettuce is perfectly fine. You're going to need vinegar, and I'll give you the exact amounts in just a second. I actually wrote them down. You're going to need a bowl to mix your dressing, obviously a plate to put your salad on, or a bowl. I prefer a plate because it's more attractive when you take pictures. Real mayo, not Miracle Whip. You're going to get dill chips, which is like pickles, sliced pickles, and you need to make sure, be sure with this and the relish that you're going to need, you need to make sure of the sugar and the carbohydrate content. Believe it or not, usually I don't have this problem with pickles, but these slices and this relish, I saw extreme varies. I saw relish as high as like 6 sugars and 8 carbs, so definitely pay attention to that. You're going to need chopped onions, the dehydrated ones, and you're actually going to rehydrate them. And I see a lot of different, let me make sure I mix this real quick. I see a lot of different recipes out there that have what is the other one? Not Thousand Island, but anyway, okay, it's gonna come to me, I'm sorry. But I'm specifically using Thousand Island, and I'm using Walden Farms. I'll put a link to the in the description below for this specific item because it's low carb. And the reason I'm doing that, you're probably like, well, this is low carb. Well, okay, you know, if you have almost one here, you almost one here, you got a couple here, you know, half one here, almost one here. You need to be careful that you're not blowing too much stuff into this, especially, you know, just with everything combined. Be careful and make sure you get a low carb item. It was, French dressing, that's what it was. A lot of people recommend French dressing. Well, French dressing can be between about 6 and about 11 on the carbohydrates, and they have about 6 sugars. So definitely not induction safe, that's for sure. Mine is going to be specifically for induction safe, also low carb, also keto. All those things are going to be acceptable. So let's get started on making the actual dressing. Okay guys, next you're actually going to start, I mixed a couple things up real quick. I did 1 teaspoon of regular vinegar, cooking vinegar. a little bit of pinch of a salt and pepper, and I'm using stevia rather than a lot of people use all kinds of different things to give it a little bit of a kick. Do this with your discretion. I would recommend, you know, try a very small batch first, see how you like it, because it's very strong, it's very concentrated. This little bottle does approximately 145 servings, so I would say a drop at a time. If you go too far, it could taste bitter, so be careful. Also, I didn't mention cheese. Obviously, you're gonna have cheese in there. It's gonna be a half a cup of mayo mixed in there, and this is actually, I'm rehydrating my chopped onions so that they have no carbs, but you're still going to get that flavor. Just put a small amount of water in there, and that we're gonna actually dump out some of that water now. And those are just about done. It's gonna give it a nice oniony flavor. And then you got your half a cup of mayo, remember, not Miracle Whip. And you are going to do your teaspoon of relish. And a good general rule of thumb for the stevia is gonna be like a couple drops. I wouldn't go much more than that. I like sugary stuff, but if you go too far with stevia, it could get really bitter, so be careful with that. Next, we're going to wash this off because I don't have other ones. And we're going to do 1 teaspoon, about a tablespoon. So it'll be, I don't have the tablespoon one, I have the teaspoon one, so I'm gonna go a little bit heavier on that one. And we're going to mix in our minced onions. I'd say about a tablespoon. Don't go any much further than that. You don't really need to. But they're going to rehydrate even quick, definitely within the actual sauce here too. The next thing, you're not going to use the pickles until the end, but you will use 2 tablespoons of French or Italian dressing. If you're keto, maybe you could accept something like French, but if you're Atkins induction, I would definitely use this Walden Farms. And we're going to do about 1, 2, and this is going to be 3 servings of this dressing. I just want you to be able to keep it around so that you can have it around for your next things, because obviously you got enough lettuce for a couple more. If you go bought a couple bags, you have every other ingredients as well as the hamburger meat. So give that a quick stir and we'll be right back. Okay, real quick, if you need to, because you're using Walden Farms, you can use a little bit extra if you want to get a little bit of color in there. But honestly, it tasted pretty good how I had it. Just be careful because of artificial sweeteners. You don't want to come out of ketosis. But honestly, you're probably thinking, that's a lot of mayo, dude. And it's really not. It's actually super tasty. I can almost drink that. I know that sounds horrible. But another tip is that I'm actually using, let me show you. Actually, no, I don't need to show you. I'm putting my cheese in with my hamburger meat, and that way I'm melting it so that it actually tastes like melted cheese, like you would find on a Big Mac. That is my secret thing. Plus, don't forget to pop a few chips on there after you're done. Okay, now you know specifically on like Atkins Induction or my low carb meal plan, the One Big Impact meal plans, I definitely like to make sure you're measuring stuff out, because I think portion control is one of the main key factors. So I can't find my measuring cup. I think it's probably disappeared like the silverware, but you know, as I know, these small Rubbermaid takeaway Tupperwares are about 2 pounds or two cups of lettuce. So we're gonna fill that up. It's gonna be about 2 cups there. We're going to put that on here, which is actually pretty beefy when it's shredded lettuce. So that might be a little bit high, but I think that's going to be okay. Now, soon I am getting ready to pop out my meat and cheese. It just needs to go for a little bit longer. The reason I do that, the reason I put those together is because I think it's important that you can actually taste the melted cheese versus if I just put cheese on there, it would be basically like a salad. It wouldn't really give it that special Big Mac feel. So I have my dressing is ready to go, but that, my friend, is not going to go on until the very end. At the very end, that's what we're gonna see. So I think I'm wrapping it up here, and we're about good to go. Probably another couple minutes. We're all set to go. We're actually going to be able to start sprinkling on some of this guy. Sorry, interruption. I apologize. You know how it is when you got family and stuff. They just want to come in all at the same time. So you got your cheese melted within it. I would leave a little bit for on the top, and then check it out. Check it out. Now remember, this is 3 servings. Do not use it all. It's basically just like the secret sauce. So remember that. And I am more of a meat eater rather than like anything. So I prefer to put a little bit more meat on top afterwards. Now you don't have to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But that is going to be how you make your Big Mac salad. Voila. I hope you guys like it, and it is freaking bomb. Alright guys, I hope you like our video. If you did, I want to see you guys making your own. If you did, there was a couple things I left out, like sesame seeds. I just don't feel a reason for paying extra money for that. Oh, I almost forgot one thing. Probably one of the most important things. A lot of people are probably like, oh my gosh, you forgot the pickles. So I will definitely put the pickles on there. I'm putting them on there now. And I'm not huge on pickles. That's probably why I left them out. But it's a good garnishing thing, and of course it's 0 carb. So check that out. Boom! I know it looks good. I'm actually super eager and super hungry, you guys. If you guys like our video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Check us out. We got lots of new recipes coming, so stay tuned for the next things. Also, check out the links in the description below. We got links to the Walden farms, to the stevia drops, and lots of other fun stuff down below. You guys have a great day, and remember to spread love, not hate, and hashtag be stronger than your excuses. Peace.